Okay, here's my graph of my points. Sorry, along this vertical axis, each grid line should be 5, or represent an increase in 5. So make that adjustment, please, and then you'll see this is our graph of this data here. This being hundreds of dollars in wages, this being hours worked in a week, so 800 is paired to 30 with 40 hours, 50 and 70 hours. So it looks as if no matter how many hours you work in a week, you're always getting paid $800. And so this line would represent that relationship between hours worked in a week and your wages. And again, I just want to have a short illustration or conversation with you. What part of this line makes sense? In particular, does this make sense here, this portion of the line? It would mean that, let's say, down here at negative 10, a negative 10 hours worked in a week, you're still getting paid 800. Well, hopefully that doesn't sound right. You can't work a negative amount of time. Superman did it in one of his movies, made time go backwards, but I don't think we can. So that's not applicable. So only this portion, the top portion of this line would make sense for us. But look at it, it's still a line. And let's talk about the slope of a line. So what's the slope? If you were to take and use the slope formula, take the difference of the output 10, let's say that this between these two dots here, that's a difference of 10 over the change here, which is 8 minus 8, that's 0. We're still going to get an undefined value here. And so what we say for vertical lines that you're going to read about is there is no slope, as there was no average rate of change. It's because you're going to get an undefined value when you try to divide by 0. So no slope here for vertical lines, any vertical line for that reason. And so here's the question I want you to think about. What equation or symbolic rule can be used to express the relationship between the output, meaning hours worked, you should write that down, and the input variable wages? There is certainly a relationship. It is this line. It's not a function. It has no slope, but we can certainly write an equation that represents that line. And so in the spirit of this one, or the previous example, sorry, number 2, we can write an equation. So think about it and see if you can write an equation and then compare your results with mine in the next video.